Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today we begin day 3 of conversions within the metric system. Now you've been using this chart. We've been doing just in length. So we're talking about meters, kilometers, centimeters, millimeters is what we've been using. You use the same process if we're doing for mass, except it's grams. Kilograms is the same process as converting to kilometers. Just liters is the same as moving to meters. It's all the same process. It's multiplying or dividing by powers of 10. As I have written up here, if you're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, it's division. This is like a division sign. If you're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, it's multiplication. And you basically can just use these numbers that you have on there. Let's say, Deandra, you get to a day in your life where you're taking a test and can't write this. You're going to have a formula chart, and by using the formula chart, you could put this together. Because sometimes you might have to change between millimeters and meters, and it'll only tell you how many millimeters are in a centimeter. And so you'll have to figure out that you need to change them twice. So prior to me starting this miraculous video, I put 4 problems up here. I gave the class 926 minutes to solve these 4 problems. And then I said I would go over them. Public service announcement. These problems do make sense. So now we're going to look at these 4 problems. If you follow along, it should make doing the Blurple cards easier. You've noticed the Blurple cards are due February 8th.
My dad's birthday.
February 8th. February has 2 R's in it, by the way. Some people just write 1 R. That's another public service announcement. That doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Because that's how it's spelled. You can't argue with how something is spelled.
Yeah, you kind of can.
Dios mío.
Unless you probably look it up in different.
Okay, they're going to hear you the whole time on this video, even though you're so quiet.
That's early.
All right, we are going to start with this problem here. We have 10,870 grams. We're converting it to kilograms. Now, we've talked that we're moving the decimal point anytime we multiply or divide by powers of 10. It's just a matter of moving the decimal point. You're going to move the decimal point the same number of places as there are zeros. But Hannah, the number 10,870, I don't see a decimal point. What should I do? Where should I put this decimal point? After the zero.
Which zero?
This 0 right here is in the ones place. You've learned since you started talking about place value when you were 6 days old. When you were 6 days old and you started talking about place value, you have learned that there's a decimal point after the ones place. If it's not written, that is where you'll find it. It did not put in a forwarding address. It did not walk around and tell everybody in the entire world where the decimal point is if it's not written. It's just supposed to be understood. And yes, that does make sense. I'm going to say that 100 times today. All right, Hannah. We are going from grams to kilograms. Are we going to multiply or divide? Which one's smaller, grams or kilograms? Grams is smaller. So we're going from grams, which is smaller, to kilograms, which is larger. So we're going to divide. When we divide, we move which direction with our decimal point, Hannah? To the left. So we're going from grams to kilograms, which we're going to divide by 1,000. So Hannah, how many places am I going to move my decimal point to the left? 3. 1, 2, 3. So now my answer should be 10 and 870 thousandths kilograms. 10 and 870 thousandths kilograms. Why do you disagree, Peyton?
Because you're supposed to move it to the right.
No, because grams are smaller than kilograms. So what we know is how many grams. What we don't know is how many kilograms. Grams to kilograms. Smaller to bigger means division. I don't need to add a 0. No, I don't. I don't. We will do this second this second one dealing with our measurements of mass or weight. This time, however, we are going from kilograms to grams. So Justin, my friend Justin, are we going to multiply or divide? We're going from kilograms to grams. We're going to multiply because kilograms are bigger than grams. So that means we multiply. See how I did this? See how I did this? See how I did this? Bigger unit. The bigger unit. Because kilo is 1,000. Centi, or this is just the unit we're starting with. This is 1. There are 10 centimeters in a meter. There are 10 millimeters, or there are 100, sorry, please forgive me, 100 centimeters in a meter, 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So Justin,
Yes.
you told me we were multiplying. You told me we have to move the decimal point which direction when we multiply? To the right. To the right. To the right. Now Justin's behind the video, so when he says this way, we don't really see it. But that's okay, Justin. That's okay. So if I have to move it to the right, and I'm having to move it, what am I going to multiply this to go from kilograms to grams, Justin? We're going from kilograms to grams. 1,000. So if I multiply this by 1,000, I have to move the decimal point how many times? 3 times. 3 times to the right, you said. Once. Twice. Oh, there's no number there. I can put a 0. 3 times. I can put another 0. And my decimal point has moved to the right that many places. So my answer is going to be 23,500 grams. 23,500 grams. Hira?
Your decimal point.
I put it.
Where?
It's behind the ones place.
What are hectometers and decameters?
If you look at the beginning of that lesson, you'll be able to see it, even though that has nothing to do with this. I'm just saying, traditionally they're not used. That book uses them for some strange, unknown reason. Bea, are you going to be okay since Janelle's not here today?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to check on you. All right, Bea.
Yeah.
We have 217 milliliters, and we're going to change that to liters. But oh no, Bea!
Oh no.
I don't see a decimal point in the number 217.
Yeah.
What should I do?
You put the decimal point behind the 7, which is in the ones place.
Awesome! I put the decimal point behind the 7, which is in the ones place. Now, Bea,
Yeah.
I'm going from milliliters to liters. So am I going to multiply or divide?
Done till divide.
I'm going to divide. Milli is smaller than liter. Milliliter to liter is divide. The smaller unit, which is the milliliters, because they're just that's much. And I'm going to liters, which is more. So I'm going to divide. When I divide, Bea, which direction I'm going to move my decimal point? To the left. Bea, I'm going from milliliters to liters, which means I'm going to have to divide by what? By 10 and 100. So that's 1,000, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to divide this number here by 1,000, which I'm going to... Bea! I'm going to have to move my decimal point how many places to the left, Bea?
Done. 3 times.
3 times to the left. Well, if it's here, behind the ones place, because even though it wasn't visible, we know it lives behind the ones place, we have to move it 3 places to the left. I'm going to have 217 thousandths liters.
I got it right.
217 thousandths liters.
I'm smart now.
Now, Rhett!
Yeah, I'll help you.
Rhett, you're going to help me with this last one.
Okay.
We have 8 and 3/10 liters.
Liters.
And we were moving 8 and 3/10 liters. We need to find out how many
So we want to
milliliters it is. So are we going to multiply or divide?
Give me a minute.
60.
We're multiplying.
We're going to divide.
Oh, dang it.
Because liters...
No, I said multiply.
Oh, you said multiply. Okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood you. He said multiply. I misheard
said
him.
multiply.
Liters are bigger than milliliters.
That shrink.
Liters are bigger than milliliters. So we are going to multiply
By 100.
liters to milliliters. So we have
No
to go. We have to go 100 and then 10
So practically 1,000.
by 1,000, practically.
Pretty much.
Pretty much exactly.
Yeah.
Would it be 2 because you have to add 10 to 100?
No, you multiply 10
What's
and 100.
what?
Because if I did it 100, I would move it 2 places. And then if I did it 10, I would move it 1 more place. So if I first changed it to centiliters, and then from centiliters to milliliters, I would move it twice.
Yeah, because that's how you
Centiliters,
say it.
yeah. Centiliters. We're changing in liters. We're changing in capacity
So,
for here.
uh,
So we have
our decimal point right in between.
8 and 3/10. We need to
There'll
move
be 2
it.
zeros. There'll be 2 zeros.
Good. I need to move it here, so it's behind the 3. Here, so I need a 0.
2 0.
Here, so I need a 0.
Now, Mr. Decimal Point.
And I'm going to have 8,300 milliliters.
I told you I'm smart.
8,300 300 milliliters.
Yay.
No clapping.
So now, if there's a time you get home, you don't know what to do, tears are flowing down your face, you always have the option of going back and looking at this video
Yay.
for a reminder. Or if you're at home and you're looking at some problems and you say to yourself, that doesn't make any sense, you have the option of going back and looking at these problems that should help it make sense as we do this. Hey, Peyton. Peyton. Hey, Peyton. Hey, Peyton. Hey, Peyton. I'm sticking my tongue out at you, Peyton. So you have that option. For parents that are watching at home, today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever day, the Blurple cards are due on February 8th.
It's my dad's birthday.
If you are at home and your child doesn't have the Blurple cards, you may always look on Mr. McMurdo's 5th grade Facebook page. And please don't sharpen your pencil. And I have posted pictures of the 10 Blurple cards. Some students have taken pictures of them. They will have time in class as well. But you know your children. Sometimes their time in class is not used effectively, even though I constantly yell at them. So you at least have that. And it's a good way for you to check their work. Or, of course, if they're doing it at home, how would I know if they checked their work with a calculator? I would never know. But hopefully their grade would be better. Also, as they should have been writing in their journal, or in their agenda, tomorrow, pages 495, 496 are due.
Isn't that extra credit?
No, those are due. That is not an extra credit. There are 2 extra credit assignments, parents, if you want your children to improve their grade. Pages 477 and 478 is the first extra credit. And 507, 508 is the second extra credit. As we near the end of the grading period, I know, parents, you want to brag to Great Aunt Judy that your child has really good grades in math, so the extra credit might be of great benefit to you. But my child didn't bring home his book. You can always get on Think Central. They all know how to log on to Think Central.
No, I don't.
If they tell you, if they're lying to you right now and me, Mr. W has it written on his board and has had it written on his board since the first day of school.
Really?
I think it's Keller at 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And then, suddenly they know.
We need a brain refresher. I still don't know.
So you can do that at home as well. Boom! Shakalaka! Peace out! God bless! Love ya! Do something kind today!